So you guys absolutely blew up my last video about nutsedge and said there was one more weed that absolutely annoyed you, and that is crabgrass. Let's talk about it. What's up, y'all? Thank you so much for coming back for yet another video. All right, so let's really quickly dive into crabgrass. Crabgrass is an annual, so that means it comes back every single year. Now, the way crabgrass grows is it starts in the early spring, starts off really small, grows up really big, starts producing a bunch of seed heads. Those seeds then fall into your grass or lawn. They will then lay there until next season when they will germinate. That is an annual, as opposed to a perennial, which just means it stays alive all year long. Think about your grass. Your grass is a perennial. So crabgrass germinates in the spring, lives through the fall, dies, and comes back next year. Crabgrass is also a very aggressive grower. It produces a bunch of seed heads and it is prolific. And it will, if you look at kind of how this particular plant is growing, see how it kind of grows out, right? And so what it does is it will actually push away any of your good grass, and then that will lay there until those next seeds germinate. And you can imagine thousands of those happening all throughout your lawn, producing thousands or millions of seeds, and it's just nasty. This is a really ugly looking weed. It's got kind of some hairs on it. It's just plain yuck. But the good news is crabgrass is actually really easy to control. And you can actually get rid of 95% of your crabgrass problem in about one season if you do the things that we're gonna talk about. All right, so there are two ways that I recommend preventing crabgrass from even becoming a problem in the first place. And the best solution for crabgrass is a thick, healthy stand of turf. A thick stand of turf crowds out crabgrass. You know, when it produces these seeds, you know, the sunlight has a really hard time getting down into the canopy of the grass. Therefore, crabgrass never actually germinates. And the second best way to stop crabgrass from even becoming a problem was way back in the spring when soil temperatures were reaching 55 degrees. You know, these little crabgrass seeds, they've been laying there dormant all throughout the winter, just waiting for the right time. But if you put down a pre-emergent in the spring before soil temperatures reach 55 degrees, these nasty little boogers don't even have a chance to germinate and then grow up and become a problem in the first place. But that's probably not why you clicked on this video. You're probably seeing crabgrass in your lawn now, and you're like, hey, how do I get rid of it now? What do I need to do to get rid of it now? So let's go take a walk. I'm gonna show you my neighbor's lawn because he actually has some crabgrass. Don't tell him that's where I pulled this from. But we'll go look at his lawn because actually I don't have any crabgrass in my lawn to show you. But let's go take a walk and then we'll talk about how you can actually get rid of it. So as we're walking up here checking out this crabgrass, do me a favor. It's 95 flipping degrees out here and I'm out here sweating, making a video for you. So the thing that I need you to do for me is to please hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you found any of this helpful. Here we are, and here is some crabgrass right here. Big, beautiful crabgrass. And you can very easily tell crabgrass. See that little three-pronged seed head? That is exactly a great telltale sign for crabgrass. See how it's lime green right in here? Definitely tell that that is crabgrass. All right, we've got a bunch of other weeds in here too, but just focus on the crabgrass. But look at that, this is a very mature plant. All right guys, so I had to get out of the sun. The camera really doesn't like being in the sun when it's that hot, so I had to get in some shade. But anyway, you notice that crabgrass, like it was growing right along the side of the road. And typically, when you see crabgrass, that's usually where you'll start to see it at the beginning of the season. That's where it heats up first. Again, remember we talked about a pre-emergent to stop crabgrass when temperatures are around 50, 55 degrees. Well, the concrete heats up first, and so the soil along those areas heats up first. So typically, that's where you're gonna see the first bouts of crabgrass, or you're gonna usually see the worst or toughest problem. Now, crabgrass is an optimistic plant, right? Like it's always looking for an opportunity to take over any dead area. So when I talk about the best control for crabgrass, that's why I mentioned having a thick, healthy stand of turf. It's an opportunistic plant. So again, if there's any bare area, those little seeds are gonna germinate and something is gonna take its place. Let's walk back down to my bottom driveway and let's talk about what we can do to get rid of the crabgrass once you have it. All right, so you've got crabgrass and now you're like, well, how do I get rid of it? Well, let me tell you this. The best way to get rid of crabgrass is to get it while it's early. Like any plant, the more mature it becomes, the harder it is to control. So let me show you the first product that I would recommend if you had a crabgrass problem. So this is an Ortho Weed Clear. This is just your generic, it doesn't necessarily have to be Ortho, but there's one active ingredient that we're looking at that's in this that will absolutely take care of crabgrass. And let me show it to you. What we're looking for is that quinclorac. Now, the problem with this particular one is it doesn't have a lot of quinclorac in it. So you saw that big nasty plant that we were looking at earlier. That plant is probably too mature for this to take care of. You're probably gonna have to go source something that has a much higher concentration of quinclorac. I'll leave links down below to the product that I would recommend, but it's really, really easy. You just mix it up and you spray it and it will take care of your crabgrass problem. Now this will probably work, but again, it doesn't have a lot of quinclorac in it. And there are other ones like this. Again, it doesn't necessarily have to be the Ortho Weed Clear. Scott's makes them, there's all different kinds. Spectracide makes them. Just look for that active ingredient of quinclorac and that'll take care of it. And if you do end up using the quinclorac that I'll link below, I do want to mention something, and I believe it says this on the label. If you look at the tissue on this crabgrass plant, it is very, very waxy. So you definitely want to make sure you apply a surfactant inside your mix. So you'll take your quinclorac and then you want to add a surfactant like maybe a dish soap, baby shampoo, or if you want to buy a dedicated surfactant, that would be great. But this is a very waxy leaf and we got to be able to get that quinclorac inside this plant and that will absolutely help make sure you get really good control. And so then once all that crabgrass dies, right, it's going to stay there. It's going to lay there. All those grass seeds are going to remain there for next year. Just because your crabgrass is dead this year doesn't mean the problem is gone. You have to make sure you put down your pre-emergent next spring to make sure that those grass seeds don't germinate next year, or you're going to be right back in the same boat you are this year. Thank you so much for checking out the video. My name is Devin. I'm the DIY Lawn Coach. I can't wait to see you in the lawn. Peace.